Okay, we're in my pantry area here, and I'm gonna get some seed out of my freezer, and I keep them in these containers here. And these are vacuum sealed, and I'm gonna get one of these candy onions that I froze on September, vacuum sealed and froze on September 2016, as you can see there, and we're going to plant those. Okay, so instead of going to Dixon Dale's Farms, where I usually get my candy onions next spring, I'm going to attempt to grow the seed, and we're going to start today. Today is November 5th, and I've got one of my fawn containers. It's got the net cup in it, and I'm going to fill it with these rice hulls. And well, it's not rice hulls, it's peat moss primarily, at a 2-to-1 ratio of peat moss to the light stuff, which is parboiled rice hulls. It's also got some lime in it to make the soil a little less acidic from the, which peat causes. It's not really soil, it's peat in rice hulls. Occasionally I say soil and people think actual garden stuff, the stuff that the grass there is growing in, but this is not. So when I say soil, I mean growing medium. So this is basically an earth. There's no value to it. It's peat moss. It's got some rice hulls in it, and we're going to put that in here, and we're going to plant the candy onions in it, and then we'll attempt to germinate them in the winter greenhouse there, and see how it goes. Seeds are really tiny and they're dark, so I'm not going to really be able to see them when I put them in there. So the tip here is to kind of start on one side and spread them evenly, just kind of watching how you're releasing them, just like so. You probably can't even see them dropping, can you? But we're going to do that in the whole pot, and it doesn't really matter if they're too crowded or not, because they're not going to grow in here their whole life. They're just going to grow in here until I can pot them. Not pot them, but put them in what I hope to be a vertical container, a vertical tower rather, and we're going to grow them like we did before. Only this time, hopefully I've improved that process just a little bit. So I've got all the seed dispersed in here now, more or less evenly, and I'm going to take some of the medium in the wheelbarrow, put a thin layer over here, and then we're going to cover it with plastic. Alright, here they are in the winter greenhouse in their own home. The mixture is already pretty moist, but I'm going to add a little bit of a nutrient charge here, just to give it a little something and kind of compact the top pretty good. Well, not pretty good, but add a little bit more to it. Put that can down. Alright, the next thing, I made a little label here. This candy onion, planted 11/5, November the 5th. And to keep the moisture in until it germinates, we just put a little piece of greenhouse plastic over it like this, just like we did the other containers over there. And we're going to watch for them to germinate. I took some early prolific squash out of the freezer. These have been vacuum sealed and frozen, completely frozen in my deep freezer for over 2 years now. I'll put the date that I put them into the deep freezer. And so we're going to do a germination test and potentially grow it out as well. I've taken a 1-gallon container, and the squash are now close to room temperature. I'm going to take them out of the foil. I'm going to put probably 5 in here, and we're just going to check the germination. There's the seed. As you can see, they were packed for 2014 growing season, and in 2015 about a year I guess later, I packed them and vacuum sealed them in this container inside the foil and then vacuum packed. So I decided to put 6 in there, and this is what they look like. We're going to cover them with about 1 inch of medium, and we're going to check the germination after a few days. Planting the candy onions on the 5th. Today's the 13th. Check out all those sweet candy onion sprouts that have come up. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, there is the early prolific, and they were in the freezer for 2 years, and I got 100% germination. All 5 came up. Here's the other part of the equation. These are candy onions, and you saw the date on those, and I put approximately 100 in each package, and you can look here and you can see that we have got really good germination. I'm not going to count them, but I'm going to say excellent germination. So onions after a year, vacuum sealed and frozen, definitely work. Alright, here are the early prolific now. I've got to thin them out, but 5 of the 6 came up. You see there are 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to pick, well, probably the one in the center because it's in the center, and grow it out. So these were planted on November 5th, and today is December the 4th. So it's been about a month, and this is the kind of growth we got now from those. After the plants got a little bigger, I had to transplant into a bigger pot, and this is an early prolific plant in its new home now. Planted on November 7th. Today is December the 4th.